What's up, everybody? It's Patrick from WP Builder Helper, and in today's video we're going to start on our Page Builder Academy series, which we've been touting for like the past year. So it's one of those things that's never come out, and now it's finally coming out. If you're someone who's new to the channel, this will be an additional video in terms of what we're doing, but it will be coming out every week. So I'll be trying to make sure that I get a video out every week. All right, so let's get started. So today in the Page Builder Academy, we will be talking about Brizy Builder. If you're someone who is new to WordPress, you might not have heard of this builder, but it's pretty established at this point. And it's got a lot of jam-packed features that are inside of it. So I am going to take you through and kind of go over the details of what you can find inside of this builder and what to expect. So let's get started. So first things first, if you're unfamiliar with page builders, they kind of sit on top of themes, and many page builders are specifically theme builders. What I mean by this is you really don't even need a theme that's installed. For this, I'm using Neve because it's a very lightweight theme, but for the most case, Brizy could go with something that is bare bones. So I recommend picking something that's as light as possible with Brizy if you're going to be building your theme from scratch, and most people will probably be doing that. Inside of the settings in Brizy, you will find a number of different things. So if we actually go to Brizy, you'll see that you can activate Brizy for page post, enable SVG uploads, enable JSON uploads. You have a role manager here that enables you to access the roles for certain people. You also have maintenance mode and, of course, your license. So if you wanted to deal with any of these, you could. Brizy recently added stories, which, if you are not aware, Google has been doing stories for quite some time. And so those are pretty important. They're going to become important over time as people are guessing, I guess, as they catch on, or if they don't catch on, then they'll be, just deleted altogether or just ignored. You also have pop-ups here, which is just for, as it implies, making pop-ups. Templates is for if you're making templates for things like 404 pages, headers, footers, blog post, anything along those lines that you want to make a template for. You definitely don't have to use the templates, but it does make everything a lot easier once you start to play with it. You've also got some integrations here that will be coming later on with Brizy. You've got leads, which this is going to come from typically their contact form, which we'll talk about inside of Brizy. Maybe not in this video, but we'll talk about a little bit later. You've also got the ability to optimize images, which unfortunately this is because this is a local file, so this comes up. But usually you can optimize images using Short Pixel. So let's go inside a page, and I will take you inside of a page that we built. So Brizy can basically take over any page, and you would just go to Edit with Brizy. In here, I'll take you on a walkthrough of just how their pages work, because Brizy is a different builder altogether. So Brizy doesn't work the same way that other builders work. It's very all about building things inside of the builder. So as you can see, this is one of their template pages that I was playing with. And it's pretty much inherited all the properties of those templates, including the images and everything else. So everything that's in here is just basically a template from Brizy. But let's go over how this works. So Brizy has elements just like any other page builder, and those elements are typically what you would drag and drop on a page. So as you can see with these elements, you can see you have a number of different things that you can add to pages, and you would build these pages using these elements. So everything that you see that's right here while it does look like it's dynamic, it's pretty much built with using this. There's nothing that's not on this page that isn't built using this. Everything from the logo to the buttons to the menus to everything, even the images that are in here. When you get past the elements portion and you're building your page and you want to rearrange blocks, you also have the ability to go in as a page view and rearrange blocks. So let's say you wanted something moved in a different order. You could do that just by simply switching these around and moving the blocks just like that. And that would basically handle that. You also have styles in here. Brizy has had styling for quite some time. You'll notice that you have color styling, which is right here, where you can actually create a color palette. You currently cannot name these palettes, so you'd have to pick one and just start changing the colors around and changing the fonts. But in the future, we have heard that that is coming. That's going to be something they're going to be doing. Inside of these, you can see you have paragraph, subtitle, above the title, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, all the way down to button. And basically what this allows you to do is go through and customize each and every single font before you ever even dive into building the page. So if we're looking at this and we wanted to change something, you can change it from desktop to tablet to even mobile using Brizy. And that just shows you the power of what you can do just using their theme building section. In here, you also have the ability to switch from tablet, just so you can see what it looks like on a tablet. And you also have the ability to switch to mobile, just so you can see what it looks like on mobile. And from here, you would basically adjust things the way you want it. If there was something you didn't like, maybe this button would be too close to this menu, you could go in and you could adjust this so that it looks much, much better on mobile. But most people will start designing on a desktop, even though it's probably recommended to do mobile first. You also have the page here. So for instance, this will let you see that we're using the Brizy template and it's viewed as the default page. You can view it as if you were to look at somebody who's a subscriber, author, editor, any one of those people, you can take and do that. You also have the featured image here if you're building a blog post. So essentially you could write a blog post inside of Brizy, do the featured image, and then start importing those images. And then lastly, you have the exit basically back to, I think, WordPress and a bunch of other things. So they've got About Us, Support, Shortcuts, Plugin Settings, and Dashboard. If we go over to the right side, this is more of the area that when you typically click on. So if you go to the right side, you'll notice that you have buttons that you could click on things that usually comes up. So if I click on this, you'll have buttons down here, but if you click on the cog, this brings up a little menu with more advanced features for padding, margin, and you'll also see that there's some ZX index, show on desktop or hide on desktop, sometimes hide on mobile, depending on which you pick. You also have the ability to align this like right, left, or however you want to set it up. So you can also lock it so that it shows up all the time or doesn't show up all the time. You've got entrance information, entrance animations, hover transitions, custom attributes, custom CSS, CSS classes, and CSS IDs. At the very bottom, you'll see that you have the ability to show or hide elements. You have an undo setting. You have a redo setting, and then you have a preview setting, and then you've got this update page. If you click this little arrow, you can switch something to draft, save layouts, or even clear whole entire layouts with just the press of a button. So the reason why Brizy is a little bit different is because unlike other page builders, which use a lot of menus on the right and left-hand side of the screen, Brizy tries to keep everything much, much more clutter-free. So you'll notice that as I'm hovering over things, as soon as you click on it, you've usually got a contextual menu. This is on purpose. This is their way of keeping everything much, much cleaner and neater so that as you're designing, you're seeing what you're designing. So for instance, just looking at this text, we can go in here and we can see that this text is this certain color, but if we wanted to change it, make it look a little bit different, like we want to make it blue, you can just change it with the click of a button. You can actually go in and change it however you'd like it. I kind of like that purple even better, but you can go in and you can change it how you like just with clicking buttons. You don't have to go through all these hard to reach menus. You do occasionally have to go deeper in the advanced menu to get to margins and settings, which, like I said, that can be adjusted to right or left. It doesn't yet, I don't believe, allow you to basically adjust it where you can detach it and kind of move it around as you want. But for right now, it works exactly how you would think. You can also change things without really going into any other menus. So for instance, if this was supposed to be them, you can go in here and you can type that in without bringing up any other menus. It just brings up this menu and you go in there and you type it and you're done. One of the key features of Brizy has always been just how lean it is in terms of building, because it's very simple to build with. You get an idea. These are icons. This is text. This is a box. I mean, the idea behind it is very, very simple. These are images right here, and as you can see, everything are in rows and columns. Brizy is still using the standard row and column, which I think some people would like to see that advanced a little bit more with FlexGrid, but for the most part, it still works exactly how you would think it would work. You also have the ability to turn whole entire sections into buttons or images, depending on how you want to do it. There's a lot to take and unpack just using Brizy. You can see right here, if we click into this box, like you'll click this little piece to actually get to the row, that there's like a gradient going on. You have gradients that you can input. You've got column borders. You've got borders for everything. So as you can see, all of that is happening in this design. You've also got the ability to adjust borders, shadows. I mean, just basically anything you could think of. Hover. You've got hover transitions. So if you wanted to change, say, for instance, this background, and maybe you wanted to flip around the color so that it was purple. Let's see if we could do that. So flip around the colors to where this is purple and then this was blue, and that would be on hover. Now you have a hover, and it'll literally flip the colors whenever you hover over this object. So it's just neat little things like that that has made Brizy stand out for me. It's been one of the things that I've really enjoyed, and there's a lot that you can take and start working with. As you can see, this is a collapsible menu. This is just a background image. And as we go down farther, you can see they've got tabular information here. So if we switch this, this will switch the tab to a different photo. Very, very cool things that you can just take and unpack with Brizy just from using it and just playing with it and learning how it works. It's a very, very good builder. As you can see, I've added some animations in here, and we'll go back and explore that in a bit. So just checking out, what you can do with Brizy. It's really unlimited. It's up to you to kind of decide. But if you're someone who struggles with a lot of ideas, and maybe you need some ideas to get you through, the one great thing about Brizy that's always made me super happy is that they have the ability to go in and you can literally, let's go all the way down to the bottom. You can literally go in and find their layouts, which are already in here. And as you can see, you have light and dark layouts. So you have things that convert from light to dark. Brizy is one of the only builders off the top of my head that I know of that has this feature with the light and dark, which I highly recommend you use. It's very helpful when you're switching between layouts and everything like that. They also have layout packs in here where you have full-blown design websites. So in our case, we're using the drone pack, but there's also, photography packs. There's smart learning, there's starter packs, there's just a ton of templates that are in here, and they keep adding to these templates, which makes it even more useful. But it's very cool that you can kind of go in and you can use these blocks as just a starting base to get you started and mix and match them and get you to where you need to be. You've also got your save blocks here. So if you saved anything, and then you've got your global blocks. So global blocks and save blocks work a little bit differently. If you wanted to save a block, so an area like this, you would click the little heart button, and that would take you to a saved block. But a global block works very, very differently because it's got something called display conditions. So this is our header, and unlike other builders, you can actually edit the header from a page, which is pretty nice. It's one of my favorite features just because it saves on time of having to deal with things that you just do not want to deal with, like going and exiting out a page and then going back in a page. So going inside of a header template and then, having to design the main part. I've always liked when they kind of encompass everything in one part. So in here, you have what's called a global block, and this block setting will allow you to do that. And once it becomes global, it gets display conditions. So these display conditions actually allow you to take and exclude or include whatever you would like. So you can pick pages or templates or anything else that you want to take and see these pages on. And from here, you can also add conditions. So if you wanted to exclude something like I don't want it to appear on post, well, now you've got a custom header where it will not appear on any post, but it can appear on all pages. That's part of the power of these display conditions and the global blocks. I've really liked the way that they did this, and it makes it super useful for just determining when something should appear or shouldn't appear. You can also do that with things like pop-ups, or if you wanted to have a certain part of your website where it only pops up for certain people, you can do that with Brizy. Brizy's got that kind of power. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed this overview. I'm going to dive deeper into Brizy. This is just a basic overview, giving someone who's kind of brand new some ideas of how Brizy works. We're going to actually dive into this page and go through it, and we're going to break it down, and I'm going to show you how they did what they did. But we're also going to talk about what's really going on in this page and how you can design it just like they did, following their exact examples. All right, so I hope you'll follow me on this journey, and I will see you guys next time.